I was recently challenged to take something old and mix it with something new, and of course, that being Lego. So I decided to take one of my oldest sets and create something new with it. And the oldest set is Majisto's tower from 1994. I no longer have the tower because I converted it into a modular building. How weird is that? But I do have Majisto and his chariot. So Majisto is like a wizard, right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a wizarding tower that goes in the Lego city and is compatible with modular buildings. So here's what the tower looks like before. This is just a classic set with that old fabric flag with the dragon sigil, also those printed elements. It's just a beauty set. It uses the old gray colors. Of course, I took lots of pictures of this set and I have the original instruction manual. So if I want to put it back together to how it was, it should be very easy to do so because I have all those parts put aside. So no worries there. And of course, I decided to keep Majisto and his chariot intact. He's got his magical wand there and also his like spell book or scroll print piece there. And there's the nice horse with the headdress on and the wings coming out the back. So I decided to keep that intact, of course, because I wanted to have him drive around the city in front of his new pad. So this actually turned out to be quite the build. It's on a 32 by 32 base plate because it's going to be compatible with the modular buildings. That's why there's 4 studs of sidewalk right here. And then after the sidewalk, we've got a little ramp that was built with the slopes, and there's some handrails on either side, built with the modified 1x1s and also the connector elements and the bars. And that leads up to a bridge, which of course goes over a moat. Yeah, this modular building has a moat. Majisto just needed that in the design. So I thought that would be pretty funny to build, and actually built the water up 2 plates. So it goes 1 plate and then the blue plate and then tiles on top of the blue plate. And then when I laid the brick around the perimeter, I was able to put these wedge plates going around the water to give it an interesting shape. Of course, I didn't completely tile it off. I made sure to leave some studs open so that we could put some vegetation in there, such as the fern elements, bamboos, and just some 1x1 flowers. The bridge is supported by some cylinders, and it is 6 studs by 6 studs. So it's just a 6x6 plate, and then you can see some more slopes there in reddish brown, leading up to the entrance of Majisto's upgraded tower, which actually has a foundation. So you can see I built up the foundation using green brick and then some plate underneath the arches, and that allowed me to put some ingot tiles underneath the arch section of the arches. And then I topped that with some modified plates so we can make it modular. So we've got some studs there to tack down the first floor and mixed in some tiles as well. And look at that, we've got a little stash spot. You can see he's no longer collecting gems and rubies and stuff, but he's got some $100 bills in his treasure chest underneath his tower. And on the side, I used some old stuff. This is the old gray rock panels, but I actually decorated them using some of the new gray, so like dark bluish gray or dark stone gray slopes, and also some flowers and cheese slopes. So you've got sort of like a mix of the old classic stuff there and the new stuff as well. So you can see the difference in the colors. And then I kept his guards out front here. One's on duty right now, but the other one is mowing his lawn. There you go, he's got a little lawnmower. And he's also watering some plants as well. So that's the base floor, or just like the base plate, the base foundation for the modular building. Here we have the ground floor. It looks sort of funny, doesn't it? Of course, it's got the classic doors from Majisto's tower, so we used a lot of the original elements there. Also, the dragon arch piece going over top of the door. The flame elements, which I actually had to modify. I held them in place with the connector pieces that go into the headlight bricks. And then we have these classic black angled panels in the corner. And we have some matching angled panels back here, but in the light gray color. And then we have a masonry wall, so something new there, along with the windows with the 1x2 slides, both above and below, and those gold grille elements. Also, above his front door, you probably noticed, he's got like a blaster. I'm not sure if that's like a deterrent or a security camera. I guess that's up to you. And there's also some flowers just above the front entrance there. When we peer inside, we've got the classic staircase from the Majisto's tower set, which is just beauty. Had to keep that spiral staircase intact and keep it within the model, of course. And then we have a really nice mini build of a console. Is that what we would call that? TV table, I guess. And within it is a stereo system, so he likes his nice music or just surround sound maybe. And there's a plant and also a remote on top of that, held in place by some jumpers, and then a nice TV. You can see he's got a pretty interesting show there, or maybe even a video game, because you can see on his armchair right there, there is a video game controller. Underneath the spiral staircase is a small washroom, so pretty condensed here. Allocated too much space to the moat, but we've got a little washroom. You know, he's still pretty impressed with it because he's from medieval times. So he's got a sink and a toilet there, some flowers next to the door, and security is top priority. So we've got a little security pad right there, and that's his alarm system. So pretty cool interior for the ground floor. And of course, we could make our way up to the second floor as well. But this actually will sit between these rocks like so, and tack down to the foundation, concealing the treasure underneath the building. Above those old school black panels, there's some of those like corner bricks, and those are topped with the triangular tiles and also the odd right angle tile there. You'll see that there's some inverted slopes right here with some studs. It looks sort of strange, but those actually support the second floor, of course. And the second floor is his place of living. I fenced off the hole, or just like handrailed the hole, using these interesting candle elements that I found on the pad wall, and also some gold cylinders. Thought it matched the old school vibe of Majisto. I thought he would like that. There's a nice looking bed there, also bedside table with an alarm clock and a lamp, and a little area rug beside the bed. Then we have his cauldron, and he usually uses his smartphone to look up recipes on Pinterest to come up with some interesting elixirs or whatever. We'll just say that, I guess. And then there's the fridge right there with some connector elements to create the handle, and also some blue milk on the table. But this was constructed with the rounded corner elements. Didn't have the elements to tack these down. There are the large plates, but we didn't have any of those, but I think it's fine once it's all constructed. We've got the masonry wall with the matching windows, of course, and there's just like some interesting texture right here with the larger inverted slopes and slopes on top of that, and then the larger windows with the black frames and the gold shutters and the matching torches out front. And we can take this and pop it down on top of the first floor, and there we have the beginning of Majisto's tower. He's sort of building skinny on the bottom and building outward from there. Next up, we have the roof, which of course can be accessed by that ladder right there. And when he pops up onto the roof, that's where he can water his magical plants in the little planters. On either side, we've got some gold ones over here, some leaf of gold, we'll call it. And it's got sort of like a castle feel to it, because you can see there's some masonry bricks topped with jumpers and those cheese slopes on top. But we've got something new as well, and that of course is the solar panels. And then the classic dragon piece right there, which is one of those panels, and it's built up the same way on the other side. And then we have a hidden little top place right here that doesn't have a ladder access or anything like that, but that's where he keeps some treasure. And sometimes he heads up here to have a drink or whatever it may be. We've got this beauty old school piece right here, along with the flag, which is just amazing. It's like in mint condition. Something I almost forgot to mention about the build process is these panels right here. These panels are actually trickier to work with than you would think, because they're 5 studs, 3 studs in the middle, 1 stud on either side. And I was like, okay, I want to center this on the roof. Like I want to have the panel centered. So, well, how am I going to do that? So I built this wall here which is actually connected to the back wall with the arches, and that's where we connected the solar panels. And I had to center it using 1x2 jumpers. That's why you'll see the 2-ply dark gray plate there. You'll see the 1x2 black jumpers all the way along. So I had to jumper that in place to get this centered on the roof, which I think was a must. The tower with the flag has to be centered on the roof. But yeah, I didn't realize that these panels here, I guess I just didn't think of it or notice it, but they're actually 5 studs wide, which is sort of odd. And when I actually put this on top here and tack it down, you'll notice that right here there is a door that will open, not inward, Jordan, but upward. But yeah, we have roof access, and there we go. Now we have a modified Majisto's tower that is compatible with the Lego cities of today. How cool is that? Let's place it beside a modular building. Remove my first ever modular building from the city, the detective's office, and replace it with the modified Majisto's tower right up front here. What do you think? There it is, beside the fire brigade and also our modified jazz club, which is 1.5 base plates rather than 1 base plate, just like widened. I think it's actually pretty cool. I don't think it's gonna stay in the city, but it's fun, you know? It's cool that you could just like take a concept of Majisto's tower, modularize it with some new pieces and place it in the Lego city. I think it's pretty fun. What do you think? I know it's terrible that I had to rip apart a classic set from 1994, but you can always just rip this apart and rebuild it because I've got all the other parts put aside. But there we go. It's Majisto's tower modularized and placed here in the city. And you know what? I actually made this really fun short using the Majisto minifigure and his chariot, and I like voiced it over and created this really cool story. Check it out.
Oh my, this is a really nice garden. It's another one. I like this guy's blue shirt. What is this? A train? I think I'll go for a ride and check out this Lego city of tomorrow. There is just so much to see and take in. I made my way across town to the other train station, and what's this? A tour bus? I think I'll go for another ride. I'm getting pretty hungry now. I think I'll get one of these meat sandwiches. What's this? There's no chariots. I think I need to get myself one of these motorized ones. How about a trade? I have gold, rubies, and sapphires. Oh wow, this is excellent. It moves so much faster than my horse. Rules of the road? What do you mean, rules of the road? Where I go, I'm in charge of the road. What is this? These people, they're taking me away to a hospital. You know what? I think I'm better off sticking to the ways of old with my chariot. But why do these people in the blue outfits keep following me? I don't understand.
Overall, a really fun challenge, just sort of something different, something that you don't do every day with Lego, and I think I did it in a unique way with Majisto's tower modularized and placed in the city, plus that story was pretty fun as well. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff. And thank you so much for coming on by. Farewell.